Right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me. And today it's all about the Caribbean. Now, who's been to the Caribbean? Great, I'm glad. It's always nice to know that people have been to the Caribbean and who wants to go to the Caribbean. Motivate me, make me feel good. Great. It's all about the Caribbean. And today we're going to speak to you very briefly about wellness and rejuvenation in the Caribbean. Why? Because it's so important that when people go to the Caribbean, they leave feeling truly transformed because of the experiences that we provide. Now, my name is Carol Hay, and I'm director for the Caribbean Tourism Organization. With me is my colleague, Lorraine Grant. Now, the most important thing about the Caribbean and what actually makes our job so hard is that we have so many dynamic brands in the Caribbean. We're not just working with one brand, but we're working with close to 30 brands. And what we have to do is to ensure that all of these brands in the Caribbean are able to compete. And most importantly, you, the sellers, the marketers of destinations all over the world, have a greater understanding as to what it is that you're selling. Since we've been here, we've met with hundreds of agents, and they've all said, I want to learn more about the Caribbean. I know it's beautiful, I know it's great, but I truly want to understand why I am going to sell this destination to my clients. And what we say is that when people go to the Caribbean, we don't want them to visit just one destination. We want them to explore. And with your help, we're going to achieve that. Now, listen to me carefully. Don't fall asleep. We're going to ask you a few questions at the end, and my colleague Lorraine and I will be handing out some prizes. And Dave's going to help us as well. So stay with us. It's going to be quick, it's going to be interesting, and it's all about the Caribbean. And just to let you know, in the Caribbean, we speak English, French, Dutch, and Spanish. The French countries that we work with are Haiti, Martinique, St. Martin. The Dutch, Curacao, St. Eustatius, St. Martin, and Spanish, Puerto Rico. Those are the ones that we work with, okay? And that adds to the flavor of the Caribbean. Now, I'm going to show you a map of the Caribbean, and I'll tell you why. Because most people think that if they've been to one place in the Caribbean, they've been to the Caribbean. But I just wanted you, the experts, to know that the Caribbean is actually spread over thousands of miles. And it actually takes 4 hours to fly from Trinidad and Tobago up to, say, Jamaica or the Bahamas. And also, this map is important for you because if you sell cruises, it gives you an idea as to how close the Caribbean is to Florida and how easy it is for your clients to sail around the Western Caribbean, starting from the Bahamas, or the Eastern Caribbean, starting from Puerto Rico. And we're happy to email the map to you and even go into further details. Also, this is important because last year, some of you know, we were affected by hurricanes. And some people felt that if a hurricane impacted on one island, the entire Caribbean was closed for business. But when you see the map, you realize that no, the Caribbean is always open for business, even if we have challenges. Now, everyone says my region is the most unique region in the world. But I'm going to prove to you and share with you why the Caribbean can live up to that statement. First of all, the culture and heritage of the Caribbean. A lot of people think that when they go to the Caribbean, that they will find people purely with African features. But the Caribbean, our heritage, is very multicultural. First of all, we do have a strong African influence, but we also have a strong Indian influence. And in 2 destinations in the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago and also Guyana, over 50% of the population is of Indian heritage. We also have a strong Middle Eastern influence in the Caribbean, who came over to the Caribbean just over 100 years ago, started business there, and they've stayed. And of course, the European with the French, Dutch, and Spanish influence. And this is reflected in the features of the Caribbean people. Also, as well, everyone says, well, my country is beautiful. Mine is fantastic. Ours is diverse. You can have some of the best beaches in the Caribbean, but you can also explore rainforests, hike mountains. The longest hiking trail in the Western Hemisphere is in Dominica, not the Dominican Republic, Dominica. This is a test. The name of the trail, YT Kabuli. Got that? You can say that? I had to learn it, don't worry. But just to say to you that when your visitors visit the Caribbean, it's not only a beach experience for them. You can let them know that there's so much more available in the Caribbean, including hiking the pitons, which are the volcanoes in St. Lucia. My colleague did that, but I prefer to take a photograph. But the reality is that whatever your clients want to do, it's available for them in the Caribbean. Cuisine is something that has come up a lot with us. Since we've been here, a number of agents have said, would it be possible for my guests to find halal food in the Caribbean? Yes, it would, because we too have a Muslim population in the Caribbean because of our Middle Eastern influences. But at the same time, being island states, we benefit greatly from seafood. So there's an abundance of seafood in the Caribbean. We're also lush with, full with vegetation. So people say, I'm vegetarian, I'm vegan, I'm pescatarian, I'm halal. Because of our heritage, it's there in the Caribbean. The diversity in food, no one ever goes hungry in the Caribbean. Also, many attractions. Who has ever heard of the Jamaica bobsleigh team when the Jamaicans went to the Winter Olympics? What we now have in Jamaica is a mountain experience where, as visitors, you can actually cascade through the mountains above Ocho Rios and have the same experience as the Jamaica bobsleigh team without the snow. We also have scenic railways. And one of the most important things in the Caribbean is diving. Now, when you hear about Pirates of the Caribbean, it does sound like a myth, a story. But the reality is that we have many wrecks in the Caribbean, and you will find people want to go diving in the Caribbean because of that experience. And we also have some of the best reefs in the Caribbean. So believe us, when your clients go to the Caribbean, they're not bored, they're not spoiled. In actual fact, they may say to you, I am spoiled for choice, and I didn't do all the things that I wanted to do. Adventure. Now, for us in the Caribbean, adventure comes in many forms. We talk about adventure in the air, on land, and in the sea. And for those of you who are sporting fans or cricket fans, well, that's the home of the Caribbean. That's what we're famous for. And I know that some of my friends from India will say, oh, you're not doing so well in the cricket right now, but the legacy lives on. We live on our memories, okay, until the team gets better. Escapism. Now, one of the things that we've heard from you this week as professionals, honeymoon, the honeymoon market. And we can assure you, whatever experience your clients want, we can provide it. And we showed you the map of the Caribbean. And we encourage you to learn more about the Caribbean. And you encourage your clients to island hop across the Caribbean. There's no point in going that far and not exploring what we have to offer. And we find that our region works very well for families and for honeymooners. Caribbean wellness. Now, as mentioned, late last year, we were affected by hurricanes. We don't want to see them again in 2018, and we pray we don't. But after the hurricanes, we said, for us, 2018 is going to be about wellness and rejuvenation. And we're going to share with you how your clients, very briefly, can experience that. Well, first of all, in the Caribbean, there is the physical healing side. And yes, we do have high-tech medical facilities. But at the same time, as well as the high-tech side, we go back to our culture and our heritage. And we encourage people, when they're in the Caribbean, to visit the natural mineral baths. Also, close to many of the volcanoes, we have mud baths. And these areas are filled in mineral. And right here is an image of visitors and locals in the Caribbean bathing in mud. Hundreds of years ago, when we didn't have high technology and all these diagnostic places, when people had various wounds or ailments, they would go to the mineral baths, and this would help to speed up their recovery. There's leisure and entertainment. Now we know that you have some of the best spas in the world, in your countries. The difference in the Caribbean is that being so lush and so green, a lot of our spa treatments are done with the natural products that we have in the Caribbean. Aloe vera, coconut, fever grass, ginger, pimento, sugar. So when your visitors go into our spas, we don't necessarily have to give them the name brand or mass manufactured, but we can actually use our skills and our knowledge of herbs and wellness to provide a truly unique, transformational experience for your clients. And most importantly, in the Caribbean, we talk about work-life balance. We realize that we all live in a very high-tech, cash-rich, time-short environment. And when people come to the Caribbean, we say, we can give you some of the fastest, hottest carnivals and music, or we can simply say to you, relax, find a beach for yourself, meditate, just de-stress as you do. It's available in the Caribbean. And the whole psychological side of it is available. Because we have such a high Indian, Asian and Middle Eastern population in the Caribbean, we also have other forms of relaxation, religion, culture, heritage, and all of it is welcome, respected and appreciated in the Caribbean. And the spiritual side of the Caribbean, being so diverse, we respect, tolerate, welcome, and engage with every single form of religion. And in the Caribbean, we also have our own unique religion, Rastafarian, the movement that was developed at the beginning of the century and followed very closely by Bob Marley and other famous people. And Rastafarian actually came out of Africa and was transformed to its own Caribbean style. But many people, when they come to Jamaica, they listen to reggae music, which is influenced by the Rastafarian movement. And we spoke about sporting greats. Now I'm going to take it that most people have heard of Usain Bolt. Yes. So in the Caribbean, when we talk about health and wellness, because we have produced so many Olympians, there's the opportunity now to visit the training areas of these guys. And if they're there, train with them. And it also goes on to cricket as well. So many people now go to the Caribbean to visit the homes of our sporting legends. Why? Because that's what the Caribbean does. For our own respect of health and wellness, we too have managed to produce some of the world's greatest athletes and also performers. Who's heard of Rihanna? Yeah? I want to think you've heard of my homegirl. Yeah? The Caribbean produces many celebrities as well. And what we say to your clients, when you're in the Caribbean, find out when we're having one of our music concerts, one of our beach parties, anything. It's an opportunity for your clients to witness firsthand some of these performers, and when they go back to the Caribbean, they're there performing for the locals because we're their greatest fans. But of course it means that other people also have the opportunity to experience unique experiences. And we talk about culture. In the Caribbean, we have so many festivals, carnivals, musical events. When you go to the Caribbean or your clients, you don't have to just sit down in one place. You can truly immerse in the culture of the Caribbean. And we encourage you to also explore the creativity of the Caribbean as well. There are so many art forms in the Caribbean. And once your clients are there, regardless of where they're staying, we're happy to share with them so that they can spend time with us creating and maintaining some of our traditional art forms. And of course, we spoke about food earlier. But what's important as well is all the natural spices that are available in the Caribbean and really just adds great flavors to the food. So we say to you and your clients, when you're in the Caribbean, live like a local, explore community tourism. Ask your clients to say to the staff, where do you eat? Where do you shop? they'd be more than honored to introduce you to Mama's real home style, yard style cooking, as we call it in the Caribbean. And finally, as well, we find that a lot of people, when they visit the Caribbean, they say, how can I get involved? How can I cooperate with the people, the communities? And we always say, whatever skills, knowledge, or experience you have, we would welcome it in the Caribbean. And after the hurricanes, a lot of people came and they volunteered to help us what we call Build Back Better. And that's how we were able to recover, because so many people used their skills and supported us. And we always say to you, when you're in the Caribbean as well, buy authentic gifts. We appreciate manufacturing from any part of the world, but we're sure that what people really want to know is that they're getting something that's genuine. And why? Because in the Caribbean, we practice sustainable tourism. So that means our tourism has to impact positively on our people, our environment, and our economy. So buy local. Finally, what we have as well is that we have an online guide to selling health and wellness in the Caribbean. And if you come and visit us at our stand or take a picture, we can send you the link and you can just learn a little bit more about health and wellness in the Caribbean, because we realize that people want to do more than lie on a beach. Because quite frankly, most of you live in places where you can access beaches very easily. So what you want is that transformation, that life-changing experience. And what I want is for you to come back to the Caribbean or to send your clients again. So how to get to the Caribbean? Very accessible through North American gateways, European gateways. Once your clients get to, say, for example, the US, there are flights almost every hour leaving through one of the gateways, and through Gatwick as well, France, Italy, Spain, Germany. There's no excuse not to go to the Caribbean. Also, many of you know as industry experts that the Caribbean is probably one of the most popular cruising areas in the world, particularly for honeymooners. And so many of the companies sell the Caribbean, and they're here as well. We also have many guides on the Caribbean. Now, we've actually given everything away, but if you email us, we're more than happy to send you the digital links. And please do so, because as professionals, it's all about being experts in your field, and we can help you to do that. Finally, the last slide. Contact us. You can go to our websites, you can follow us on social media, you can email us, because if you do, we can send you links to images, links to blogs. We can just send you so much information. Some of you ask us about visas, you ask us about flights, you ask us about DMCs. All of that information can be provided, because trust me, as long as you are Caribbean experts, we're going to stay in business, and that's really important to us. We cannot do it without you. So I want to say thank you so much for listening to the presentation. There's so many things you can be doing, so we really respect the fact that you stayed with the Caribbean. Thank you all very much. So my colleague Lorraine is going to join us. We've got some prizes that we're going to give out to you, and we're going to do this really quickly because we've probably only got about 5-10 minutes. So that means Dave and I are going to run around the room because Lorraine's going to answer the questions and we're going to be giving you some prizes. Right, so Lorraine, you ready?
Everyone, how's everyone doing?
Yeah.
Good. Did you all enjoy the presentation? Excellent. Well, I hope you're all listening, because I'm going to be answering you a few questions. So can everybody hear me clearly? We've got some giveaways, so hopefully everybody will get one. We have some lovely Caribbean notebooks. So can anybody tell me, by raising their hand, one of the destinations within the Caribbean region which we represent that speaks French? You, sir? French. Which one?
All right, we've got a winner here. This gentleman said Haiti.
Haiti, well done. Anybody name another one that speaks French? This lady? St. Martin, well done.
I've got
One
another
more.
St. Martin. Oh, yeah.
Anyone name another one?
Martinique.
This lady here?
Who said Martinique? I heard Martinique.
Martinique, there you go. Okay, can anybody name a destination that speaks Spanish that we represent in the Caribbean? Oh, this lady.
Who are you giving it to?
Oh, the gentleman there who put his hand up.
Yeah. Next one.
And who speaks Dutch in the St. Martin?
This guy just said it.
Who said Curacao? This lady here?
It's called Curacao.
Curacao.
Yeah.
Curacao.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question. Can anybody name an activity that Carol mentioned that you can participate in the Caribbean, a water sport activity? Somebody who hasn't got a
Have you got
notebook already. We want to try and get everybody to get one.
So he said diving.
Okay, anybody else? The gentleman at the back?
Kayaking. I'll come
Very
to
good.
you. Very good.
A water sport activity. That gentleman can get one. Yep. Okay, next question. Can anybody name an accessible gateway to get to the Caribbean? There was a few mentioned. This lady's hand went up first. UK, yep. Miami,
You
yep.
got hands over here.
Very good, very
Yes,
good.
there you are. Paris,
Okay,
Germany, France.
excellent. Anybody else want to name another gateway?
Frankfurt, someone said.
This gentleman here said Italy
And we had Frankfurt here.
and Frankfurt. Excellent. How are we doing with the brochures, with the notepad? A few left. Okay.
Yeah, a few left.
Next question. Can anybody name one of the sporting legends that was mentioned? This gentleman's hand went up first. Right. Okay.
Who
so
said
these
Chris
two-
Gale? Who
these-
said Chris Gale?
These two gentlemen at the back.
Yeah,
Chris Gale, Brian Lara.
Who said Richard? Somebody said Viv Richards. Who said Sir Viv? Sir Viv's my friend. You can have one.
Okay, well done. Can anybody name a musician or artist? Whoa!
Rihanna.
That was
Shaggy.
too
We had
fast.
Shaggy. Shaggy.
That was too fast. I think everybody's hand went on.
All right. We're going to give only one Rihanna. She's too famous.
Okay.
Nicki Minaj from Trinidad.
Okay. Over this side. Give me an answer over here.
Bob Marley. That's it.
Bob Marley, the lady at the back there.
Who said Bob?
This lady and the lady at the back there. Well, that was a popular answer. Okay.
got
So
one, did you
can
get
anybody
one?
name some of the local products that Carol had mentioned that are used within the spas in the Caribbean? This gentleman, coconut.
Yeah.
This gentleman here,
And then this lady says aloe vera.
aloe vera. Well done.
For aloe vera.
Ginger. This gentleman at the front here,
You not want to book it?
Yeah, we use
mango.
sugar
This
scrubs.
lady here.
You got one already.
Okay.
What did you say?
Well done. How are we doing? Still a couple more?
Couple more.
Okay. Can anybody name the unique activity that takes place in Jamaica?
I told you.
You got. Who hasn't got a notepad?
Yeah.
Who wants to answer?
Yes, sir. What?
Have you got one? You got a notepad? No? Okay, what's your answer?
What's the answer?
No Google. Come on.
What was your answer?
No Google. You should be listening to me. This man's there Googling away.
This gentleman here.
Which gentleman? Not the one with Google?
No, he's not good.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, can anybody name the longest walking trail? And remember the actual name. Bonus point.
Yes, Whitey Kabuli.
Yeah.
So we have one over here.
Okay, so we got two. This lady
Yeah.
here as well.
She's already got
You've
one.
got one. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody?
I've got 3 books, no pens though. Yeah.
I've got 4.
Yeah, all right,
Got
thanks.
more.
Right, then, so we're almost finishing
Oh,
now.
almost finished now. Okay. This will give us a few answers. I want some of the English speaking destinations that we represent in the Caribbean. But hands up so we
Hands
can
up.
quickly see this. Who hasn't got a notebook?
Right. So he said Cayman Islands.
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
One at a time.
If you've got a prize already, you can just share your knowledge.
Have you got a notebook
They've got
already?
prizes. The bright corner, they've got prize already.
Okay.
Bahamas.
Have you got a notebook? What's your answer?
No. That's Spanish. Española.
English speaking. Dominica.
Dominica. That's where.
You've
You got.
Okay. Anybody who hasn't got a notebook want to say Dominica and get a prize?
Who? Cayman Islands, yeah. Right, last set of questions.
Last set of questions. Okay.
Get one each.
So, can anybody name a land activity that was mentioned that you can take part in the Caribbean? A land activity.
You've already got one.
No, that's in the air. Hiking. That's on the riding one.
Cricket. Is that an activity? Yes. Anybody else? There's lots of land activities.
Cricket. Who said cricket? Okay, I'm coming. Dance, performing arts.
Yep.
Excellent.
Very good.
Right, we've got one.
Yep.
That's it. This is going to be the last ball. Who said steel pan? Then. Okay. Right, we've got 2 books left. So final questions, Lorraine.
Hiking.
Well, we're going to do final question
Okay.
because you get 2 last books now.
Final question. Okay. Can anybody name one of the... Did we mention cruise lines? Okay. Does anybody know a cruise line that operates to the Caribbean? We only need 2 answers from somebody who doesn't have a notebook. Has everybody got a notebook? You haven't got a notebook. What's your answer? You don't have a cruise line? No?
Right, you've got
Anybody
an answer,
wanna
that
give him
gentleman.
an answer?
You are in the trade.
Pardon? MSC, yep, very
Yes,
good.
well done. Thank
One
you.
other, there's many cruise lines that operate.
Royal Caribbean.
There we go.
So,
Well done.
that's it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you
so
for
much.
listening.
Thank you. Right, we're off.
Go and see him, is it?
Someone just said, can I ask a question? Of course you may. I'm happy.
You've got the microphone, I'll take it over. Thank you.
I was trying to get back to it, yeah. On the map, yeah.
On the map, you had Aruba and all these other places that you didn't mention on your list. Are they also considered Caribbean or they're not? Is that that's my question. I wasn't really sure.
100% they are considered in the Caribbean. Okay. Today, we were just speaking about the countries that we work specifically with to market.
Okay, makes sense.
But believe me, every single country you've seen on the map and the map that we will email to you, they're in the Caribbean. We're all friends, but we just work with some countries.
Okay.
Right, but thank you for asking.
Okay.
Yes, another question. So we need the microphone at the back. Come on, Dave, faster.
This is fast.
faster. He's no Usain Bolt.
Hello.
He's good.
I'm from Tunisia. I would like to ask, we need visa to enter to your nice country?
Yes, you will need a visa. And
how you apply it?
well, if you visit us at our stand or give us the card, and anybody who has a visa question, please give us the card and we will be able to get the information to you and also advise on the nearest consulate where a visa can be accessed. Now, we should state that there are many countries that you do not require visas for. For example, the Bahamas is a country that most people do not need a visa for. Visa requirements are in place, but I should stress we do want people to visit us. So therefore, once a visa request is made and it is an actual visitor, we will do our best to speed up the process for you. But let's swap information and we can go drill down further for you specifically and provide you with all the information that you require.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, the only thing I can say is that you're all due a visit to the Caribbean, and we look forward to welcoming each and every one of you. So thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you once again. Round of applause for the ladies. Always recommended to give a great presentation and also some wonderful prizes too. That brings us to a close of the Academy. Has it been useful for you? Learned a lot and connected with people as well. Make sure to connect with each other on LinkedIn as well to make sure that conversations can continue even after you go back to your own home countries if you're not based in the UAE. We've got a number of certificates for everybody who's stayed all the way through. They'll be available on the front desk out there. So please make sure you collect yours and see the girls, Fiona and Drew, on the front desk, and they'll make sure you get everything. So meanwhile, on behalf of all our many presenters and the organisers here, we wish you the very best for 2018 and 19. And any questions, please feel free to ask. Meanwhile, have a great break, and thank you.